Well, here.
I think God and Moses both just have enormous respect for each other.
Come live with me.
White gladiator has that big striped spear at the neck.
Fires from flame during dessert.
Look, the judges are nodding. Even the Egyptian judge is impressed.
Galileo, until recently, you claimed that the Earth revolved around the sun.
Welcome to History Bites. I'm Rick Green. Every 4 years, the Olympics unite the world through sport. As far as televised competition goes, nothing can compete with the Olympics, except the World Cup, and the Super Bowl, and WrestleMania. But the Olympics have something extra that other sporting events don't. Controversy, scandals, corruption, drugs, and that's just the competition between the host cities. 2,500 years ago, there was no need for Olympic bidding. They were always held in Olympia. Back then, athletes didn't pray to God for endorsements or wear Nike. They prayed to the god Nike and wore nothing. So let's channel surf back to 350 BC, because when you want to watch perfectly sculpted athletes compete for the glory of the gods, you gotta grab a ton of junk food, flop on the couch, and turn on the TV.
From Athens, the city-state with all the drachma and none of the dogma, it's The Late Show with Dave and Lettermos. Tonight, Dave's mom, Olympic pancreatius, Sostratos, musical guest, Pindar the poet, plus Paul Slaver in the barbarian chorus. And now, the man that put the slick in grease, David Lettermos.
Thank you very much, kids. Thank you. Well, hey, it's been 4 years, huh? Yeah, that's right. We've had to sit through the Nemean Games, the Pythian Games, and the Isthmian Games, and finally, it's time for the Olympic Games. That's right, my favorite games, the Olympics. And you know, everyone asks, why do we always hold the Olympics in Olympia? Because it's not like it's in the best location. They could rotate it, you know. Have the games in a new city-state every year with local themes, too. Like, you know, your Spartans could hold the war games. The lesbians could hold the gay games. And the Cretans, why, they could hold the dumb games.
Hey, if it's a foot race, how come we run further than a foot?
But with all the intercity rivalry and scandals, we can't forget what the Olympics are really all about, and that's religion. I mean, Zeus created us. The least we can do is celebrate him every 4 years. Am I right? Zeus deserved every single one of those 100 bulls they sacrificed to him.
100?
Don't you think, Paul?
That's a lot of bull, Dave.
Yeah, sure, it's a lot of bull. Hey, it's more bull than you see in the city-state assembly. But here's the good news, kids. The bull meat doesn't go to waste. No. All the Olympic fans get a chunk. Well, except the Pythagoreans, because they're vegetarians. They sacrifice a hippopotamus.
And left on a rock in the mountains to die. Tetanus, which god rules over the seas?
Cousteau.
Poseidon. Teresa, what is the name of the dog who guards the gates of the underworld?
Cujo.
Cerebus. Phenol, who was credited with creating Athens' powerful navy, but was ostracized for his efforts?
Them is Tackle-ease.
Themistocles.
A few minutes with Andy Rooney.
I was down at the amphitheater this week watching a few tragedies. It's a nice break from my home life. In between these tragedies, they have satyr plays. Have you seen those? Men prance around the stage wearing giant oversized leather phalluses. After about 3 of these satyr plays, all I could think is, why are we bothering with these tragedies? I learned more about life watching 2 guys playing dueling goat gods with their giant...
Not our Olympic Games. So here now, from the home office in Naxos, the top 10 rejected Olympic events. The top 10 rejected Olympic events. Here we go. Number 10, the javelin catch. Number 9, weight gaining. Number 8, tease the Spartan. Number 7, the 100-yard olive oil slide. Number 6, one-man trireme racing. How would that look? Number 5, musical chariots. Number 4, synchronized sculpting. Number 3, dodge discus. Number 2, equestrian clean and jerk. And the number 1 rejected Olympic event, bobbing for goat. There you go.
Unconscious. And that's another thing. How come when it's a half man, half goat, it's always the top half of the man and the bottom half of the goat? What do the gods do with the other halves? Is there some place we don't know about? Maybe over the mountains where there's nothing but goats with people legs? Sounds like a reunion on my wife's side of the family.
I'm here in Athens at the launch of designer Abraxas' fall lineup, and it's incredible to see what he's done with fabric. The familiar big squares of wool or linen held on with brooches and belts are there, but this year it's color. We're used to fabric in such neutral tones as yellow, ochre, goldenrod, gold, honey, butter, saffron, straw, and lemon, but now he's added red. It's really shaken up the whole fashion industry. What's next? Orange?
Married women weren't allowed to watch the Olympic Games. The Greeks thought that seeing those naked male athletes could cause women to leave their husbands behind, for a behind that was tighter and firmer. In fact, the only women who were allowed in the Olympic audience were virgins. It was a chance for them to see the cream of the crop of Greek men in all their naked glory. Kind of the ancient equivalent of Backstreet Boy concerts.
We send our very own late show correspondent to cover the games, my mom. Okay, so let's talk to my mom. Let's get her on the.
Dave, one thing, Dave.
We sent her.
Yeah.
What is it, Paul?
I guess you haven't heard, but women aren't allowed at the Olympics. If married women show up, they're thrown off a cliff.
I don't think so, Paul. That doesn't sound like the Olympic spirit, does it, Paul?
I don't know. That's what I heard. I thought everyone knew that. It's common knowledge, really.
Mom, are you there?
Hello, David.
How are you, Mom?
Oh, I'm having a very nice time, David. Yeah.
Hey, how about the shorts on those athletes, huh, Mom?
They don't have shorts, David.
So they must have longs.
Oh, David, yeah. Well, if you must know, yes. Yes, they do.
So Mom, where's all the fans? I thought the place was packed.
Oh, well, I'm on a cliff, David. This nice man brought me here.
Hello, Dave. I'm Kephalos. I handle security here at the Games in Olympia. Listen, thanks for sending your mom. We don't see a lot of women here at the Games, mainly because they are banned. But this year we can finally host the women's event, the high dive.
The high dive? I'm not familiar with that event.
Well, basically, the women have to dive off of this cliff into that pool of rocks.
Ouch!
Yeah, the high dive is really a demonstration sport to demonstrate to other women what will happen if they try to sneak into the Olympics.
Hey, remember, Mom, arch your back.
Okay, David.
Ready?
Well, I think so.
Stand back.
Oh, and Mama, make sure to let him hold your mic. Those things are pretty expensive and very costly to replace.
Okay, David.
Hey, Mama, how do you do?
I'm not bad, David. I think he landed on his feet. Oh, no, wait. Those are his kidneys.
Coming up, a nude Greek Olympian pulls a groin, and it's not his. Around 350 BC, the ancient Olympics were in full swing, and so were the punches. One of the most popular events of the Games was the Pankration, a brutal 1-2 combination of boxing and wrestling. There were rules, 2 rules, no biting and no gouging. But for Pancratius, rules, like bones, were made to be broken.
My first guest just returned from his third Olympic win for the Pankration event. He's a god. At least I worship him as one. They call him Mr. Fingertips, but his friends call him the Fingerer. It's a great pleasure to have him on the show. Please welcome Sostratos of Sicyon. Sostratus. It's nice to meet you.
It's good to be here.
Hey, you look good.
Thanks. Been working out.
Yeah, it shows. Hey, what's that you got rubbed on you there?
Oil.
It's olive oil. It's not bad.
Extra virgin.
It's really more information than I need to know. Man, I tell you, sitting next to you, I feel kind of underdressed. That's a nice medal you got there. Hey, look, he's wearing a Trojan.
Good evening, I'm Greta Sesternia. The run to marathon was an impressive non-stop run. But how do they compare to the kind of impressive, if poorly pronounced, non-stop run-on sentences used by me on this show, repetitively speaking, enunciation 2, which compare favorably to the run to marathon by a runner whose style was, by any standards, if incomprehensible, than with at this time, which we'll be looking at later in the show tonight, this evening.
I tell you, Robin, they were gorgeous, dancing right in front of me, and like I could see under their tunics. You know what I mean? And it's so hot out, they start taking off their tunics, right? And I'm like, hey, then their leather thongs, and I'm like, you know, they're oiling each other up. Their butts are so tight you could bounce a drachma off. Man, oh, would I love to mud wrestle one of those guys? Oh, yeah.
Come on, what about perks? There's got to be perks to being a winner, you know, other than being worshipped like a god.
Well, I'll never have to worry about going hungry. I get free meals from the state.
Famine? What famine?
Yeah. And of course, there's the cash bonuses, the houses, the slaves, and the women.
Or men, if you prefer.
Yeah, or men. But for me, the best part is being immortalized in stone.
Oh, is that right?
Actually, they're erecting a statue of me in my hometown of Sicyon. So if anyone out there is thanks, guys.
Hey, they must be big fans of yours. Look, they're doing the wave.
Hometown proud.
So let me get this right. You say they're erecting a statue of you?
Yeah, it's going up this weekend, and you know, everybody's welcome to come down to Sicyon and check it out.
Isn't that nice? Hey, did you hear that, Paul? You're gonna go down this weekend and check out his erection?
Tetanus, who is the Greek god of sleep?
NyQuil?
Hypnos. Dandalus, traditional entertainment at a symposium or dinner, includes dancing slave girls and a singer who accompanies himself while what?
Staring at the slave girls?
Playing a lyre. Teresa. Who are the traditional enemies of the Greek city-states of Athens, Sparta, Marathon, Crete, Rhodes, Attica, and Thrace?
Each other?
The Persians, but I'll accept that. Phenol, what monster grows 2 more heads every time you try and cut one off?
The civil service.
The Hydra. Tetanus, what do all the Greek city-states have in common?
Hating each other.
Language, dress, trade, and religion. Teresa, what separates a trireme warship from a bireme warship?
Water.
An extra row of oars.
It's ironic. The Olympic Games celebrated military skills, boxing, javelin throwing, a foot race in full armor. But the Games also brought peace to the Greek states. Every Olympiad, or 4 years, a temporary truce was declared so athletes and fans could safely reach Olympia. They needed rules like that because the travel was expensive and the roadkill was human. As the Greek Empire expanded, this truce was extended from 1 month to 3 to allow time for travel from the boonies. Greeks were probably grateful for the Olympic time out from war. And what better way to celebrate peace than by watching 2 guys beat each other senseless?
You've really made a name for yourself, Sostratos. I mean, 3 Olympic wins, 12 wins at the Nemean Games, 2 at the Pythian Games. You're a busy guy.
I try.
And in this sport, this Pankration, anything goes, am I right? It's like street fighting. Like, correct me if I'm wrong. In the course of a day, you probably get punched, kicked, thrown.
Smacked, squeezed, headlocked, cold cocked.
Cold cocked? That must lead to shrinkage. What else?
Strangled, jabbed, headbutted.
Ooh, headbutted. Doesn't that hurt?
Only if it's done right. No, personally, I don't like the rough stuff. I like to keep my fight short and sweet. I get in there as fast as I can. As soon as I see an opening, I go for it.
Uh-huh. I see.
No. What I do is I grab my opponent's hand and I break all his fingers.
Right. Hence the nickname, the Fingerer. Paul over there was hoping it meant something else. Give us a day in the life of Sostratos.
If I've got a match coming up, I'll get a priest to sacrifice a chicken. Then he'll examine the entrails and tell me if I'm going to win or not.
If all goes well, by the end of the match, you'll be examining your opponent's entrails.
Exactly.
You see, these doctors, they're foreigners, quacks. You can't take them seriously. Now, these doctors say you broke your leg because you fell off your horse.
Yeah, see, I was riding Daisy to work and this chariot cut me off. Horse fell back on me and broke my leg.
Okay, first of all, your horse didn't break your leg. God did.
Oh, right.
Yeah, you see, when good, righteous people get crushed by horses, they get up and walk it off. They're fine. But a sinner, well, they get hurt. Now, sometimes God works in mysterious ways, but, you know, he's always fair. You break a commandment, he breaks a leg.
Yeah, because when my horse fell on me, I cried out in pain and I used the Lord's name in vain,
You see, well, there you go. You ask for forgiveness, and if God's in a good mood, you should heal in 2-3 weeks.
Right, but I only used the Lord's name in vain after I fell, so how did
Oh,
he
you
know?
see, God knows all, even what's coming. Speaking of which, our next caller.
Fine there, youngsters. Okay, now tonight, right here on our stage, we'll be unveiling for the first time anywhere the nude statues of the Greek gods by Praxiteles. Now, don't get too excited. You can only show them from the waist up.
Phenol, what large, wide-open city space is frequented by merchants, buskers, and pickpockets?
The Agora?
Correct. Teresa, if you're a Greek who's irrationally frightened of something, you have what?
Goosebumps?
A phobia or fear. Phenol, if you have a phobia of wide-open spaces like the Agora, you probably have what?
A good reason, because the Agora's a creepy place, isn't it? I mean, you know, it's full of people who want to talk to you and rob you, and you got all those jugglers and the clowns. Oh, God, those clowns. Oh, my Zeus, the clowns, keep the clowns away from me, Mommy. Mommy, don't let the clowns touch me! Don't let the clowns touch me, Mommy!
The answer was agoraphobia.
We'll see. You won your Pankration match, and now, what do you get for that?
I got the traditional prize, Dave, and an olive wreath.
Wouldn't you prefer a tunic with your name on it?
Nah, I'd never wear it.
Now, can you explain the nudity for our male viewers?
Well, here's the story. 300 years ago, the games were just getting started, and this runner, Cypros, was running a race. And his loincloth fell off, and nobody can remember if he tripped on it and lost or ran naked and won.
And really, like who cares? Because the point is, all Olympians have been naked ever since, and that's the important thing, right?
Right. But in the Pankration, we do it so the other guy doesn't have anything to hold on to.
Oh, now, I'm no Pankratiist. But if you and I were rolling around naked on the ground, I could probably find a thing or two to hold on to.
Whether they compete in ancient or modern Olympics, successful athletes are always treated like gods. Ancient Greek losers might have been ashamed to go out in public, but for the winners, privileges included free meals for life and large cash rewards. Unlike modern Olympians, Greeks competed first and foremost for Zeus, then themselves. There were no national teams and no national anthems. Instead, the Greeks wrote songs to honor their winners. So, let's all rise for the singing of the Pankration anthem.
Okay, kids, our next guest is one of the greatest lyric poets of the Hellenistic world and also a huge sports fan. Here to perform his ode to Sostratos, here he is, Pindar the poet.
Olympia, Sostratus is mighty. He punched a guy and broke his face in 3. Brawny Hercules is a pushover compared to Sostratus. Even Zeus himself wouldn't fight this dude, 'cause he'd be TKO'd. All of the gods, they turn and flee. Olympia, Sostratus, don't hurt me. Olympia, Sostratus, don't hurt me. Olympia, Sostratus fights dirty. But we don't mind. That's what we like to see. If he ever fought with Achilles, he would dislocate his heel.
Hi, Rabbi. I'm calling about my teenage son. He's got some kind of skin disorder, like little red bumps with whiteheads.
Ah, yes. Leprosy.
Oh, yeah, he's had it on his face since he turned 13, and a couple on his back, too.
Well, that makes sense, because he's going through puberty, which means he's becoming lustful.
Oh, my God.
Yes, I'm afraid it'll continue till he gets his wickedness under control. Okay, next caller. Philip, you have a question.
Yeah, hi, Rabbi. I got this problem with my house.
Yep.
I live in a valley, and it gets pretty damp, and the stone walls in my house have this kind of green stuff growing on them, and it's...
Oh, green stuff.
Yeah, I don't know what...
Yes, that's leprosy.
Now look like this. Pankratian's gotten very popular these days. Everybody loves it. It's got all the crazy moves, the drama. But one thing I always wonder is, come on, are you guys just faking it?
Pardon?
Are you faking it? I mean, is it staged at all?
You could ask Milo, the guy I beat at the last Olympics, but he's dead.
Oh, so I take it it's real.
Oh, it's real. Would you like me to show you some moves? I could show you, but I'd end up knocking you out.
Knock me out? You did that when you came on the show wearing your Lucky Charm.
The ancient Olympic Games survived for over 1,000 years through both the Greek and Roman empires. But after they were moved to Rome, they became more of an entertainment spectacle, more guts, less glory. The old gods deserted the games to be replaced by new gods, and eventually just God. You see, as Christianity gained popularity, the games were seen as an undesirable pagan festival. Christians didn't approve of violence or naked men. So, in 393 AD, the Olympics were banned, and a series of earthquakes, floods, and fires finished off Olympia itself. Ancient history may have given us the impetus for our modern Olympics, but for those who have idealistic notions about the ancient Olympic spirit, well, they may find that history, like a cheating pancreas, bites.
It's just terrific stuff there. And now, we have a special treat for you. One of the top theatrical companies in the Greek world, the Cretan Players, presenting a scene from their current production of Oedipus Rex. Now, in this scene, King Laius, who has learned from the oracle that someday his son will kill him, takes the infant child to Mount Cithaeron, where he drives a spike through the baby's feet and leaves him to die. A terrific scene. This is just a terrific scene. Let's watch.